Welcome to Anaheim Park Tours. This is part 4 of our first time traveler's guide to Disneyland. And in today's video, we're going to cover common questions on what you can bring into Disneyland.
Up first is covering if you have babies and toddlers. So the first question are strollers. Yes, you can bring your own stroller. However, there are size requirements, and we're going to post the link from the Disneyland website below so you can check that out and make sure your stroller fits within those dimensions. You can also rent from a third party or rent directly from Disneyland if you don't want to hassle with bringing your own stroller. Also, you can bring every baby item you can think of. You can bring diapers, bottles, baby food, and if you use glass bottles like we did, those are okay, and also glass baby food containers are okay. Normally, Disneyland does not allow glass containers, but they make an exception for baby items like that. Another thing we wanted to quickly go over was the baby care centers. There are 2, 1 in each park. We highly recommend you check them out. When our kids were little, they were lifesavers. So the one in Disneyland is at the end of Main Street, right by the corn dog wagon, and the one in California Adventure is right next to Ghirardelli and Pacific Wharf. At the baby care centers, they also have baby items for sale, so if you forget something, you lose something, or you run out of anything, you can go to those baby care centers and be able to buy some other items to replace those.
Up next is food and drink, and this is probably the most common question we see. What food and drink can you bring into the park? And you can bring in refillable water bottles. We use the Yeti refillable water bottle, and we love it because it's dishwasher safe, and we'll leave a link to the bottles that we use below. And take advantage of those water fill stations. With rising prices everywhere, saving a little bit on water here and there really does add up. We were going to make a video on all the water fill stations in the Disneyland area, but Disneyfornia, another channel, beat us to it. So we're going to link his video in the description below because he did a great job on it. As Crystal mentioned earlier, you cannot bring glass items in, so make sure you leave those at home. Unlike other theme parks, you can bring in outside food. And when our children were little, we brought in a backpack full of food for snacks to keep hangry meltdowns from happening, and it worked great. And we encourage you to do the same. We still bring quite a few snacks in our backpack, and it helps out quite a bit when you're in between meals. All food must be prepared, and we've used this example before. You can bring in a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but you cannot bring the fixings to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So you cannot bring in the jar of peanut butter, the jar of jelly, and a loaf of bread. It has to be pre-made. Make sure all the food that you are bringing in is ready to go and pre-made. You can bring a small ice chest into Disneyland, but Disneyland's website states that it must be about the size of a 6-pack. So make sure you are paying attention to the dimension of your ice chest before bringing it in. You must also use reusable ice packs. You cannot bring loose ice into the park.
Up next are bags and backpacks. Yes, you can bring those into Disneyland. We use this particular backpack. It is the North Face Borealis backpack, and we love it because of its durability and how comfortable it is, and we also love all the different pockets that it has. That being said, when we go through security, they check every pocket. So if you want to try to go through security a little quicker and you don't want to deal with that, you might want to consider a backpack with just one main compartment, and you'll get through security just a little bit faster. We'll leave a link to our backpack below. Also, we see a lot of questions about if you can take your bag and backpack with you on the attractions. Yes, you can. We've taken all different sorts of sizes of backpacks. Sometimes mine is just completely stuffed, and I'm able to take it on every single attraction with us in the entire park. I've never had an issue. Also, if you're like me and you stuff your bag to the gill and you get tired of lugging it around all day, they do have lockers in each park. One in Disneyland, one at California Adventure, and in the Esplanade. So if you're tired of carrying it around and you want to put it in a locker, you can. Or if you buy a lot of merchandise and you don't feel like carrying that around, you can put that in the locker as well. Next up are mobility scooters. You can bring your own scooter just like a stroller. You can rent one from a third party, or you can rent one directly from Disneyland. I just wanted to point out real quick, if you rent from Disneyland, you have to return it to Disneyland. So if you are staying off property and you have quite a bit of a trek back to your hotel, you might want to consider renting from a third party so you can just drive your scooter all the way back to your hotel room.
Next up is electronic equipment. We know a lot of you, this is your once in a lifetime vacation or once a year vacation, so you want to make sure you save those memories. You can bring in DSLRs, GoPros, or other action cameras. Talking about cameras, you want to make sure if you are bringing in tripods, they fit within the Disneyland policies. And that includes selfie sticks. Nothing can extend, so make sure you leave those items at home because it is a total hassle walking back to the hotel to return your stuff. We use a small tripod like this, and for our GoPro, which we commonly bring into the park, that particular tripod does extend and we've glued it shut so it no longer extends, and Disneyland security asks us to show them each and every time that the tripod is glued shut. So make sure you leave those items home. Well, Disneyland is more app intensive these days, and we encourage you to bring a battery pack. We use a Anker battery pack, and we absolutely love it because we've never run out of juice the whole day, and we do bring camera equipment in. We'll leave a link to that battery pack in the description below. You can also bring in all the charging cables to charge your different equipment. We usually bring 4 to 5 different charging cables, and that handles all of our needs. We do bring in 4 phones and a bunch of equipment, and we've never been hassled about the different cords. One thing we do encourage you to do when you go through security, we actually use these clear bags, and we'll link these to Amazon. They work great, and what we do is we just put all our charging cables in here, and security looks at them, and we just walk on through. So if you have batteries or other small items, this gets you through security just a little bit quicker. This list is the most common items we've seen questions about. We'll leave a link in the description for the full list of prohibited items in the description below. When part 5 is posted, we'll go ahead and link it here. Until then, if you're trip planning, enjoy this hotel tour. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.